Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we're back with more of The Sims 4 Impossible Things, which is our Alice in Wonderland 7 Gen Legacy Challenge. And everything is going super fast, and the video is super short because my audio got completely fucked up when I was recording, so I have to overdub everything. So there's not going to be any Sim sounds or anything in the background. It's just me doing it and whatever. So, yeah, what happened was somehow my recording software jacked up my mic volume to like 200%. And when that happens, when I get loud, which you know I get loud, it just gets very staticky. It's god awful. And it just happens too much throughout the video to the point where I can't handle it. And no matter what I do to fix it, it's god awful. It'll pierce your ears no matter, even if I turn the volume down when it hits those high peaks, it's just god awful. So instead of making you suffer through 4 hours of videos this week with awful audio, I'm just overdubbing them. So everything is super sped up. Anyway, so we're just gonna, I'll just kind of explain the things that kind of happened. In this, like in the very beginning, I was kind of just looking at when our toddlers were going to age up because, there's that face glitch that's been happening. Luckily, my Sims did not have that problem, and I don't have to worry about it, which is nice. Um, so I was looking at when they age up because I was kind of afraid that, like, if they age up before the game patches, like, how is that going to work? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't want to worry about, like, I know that they said that when they fix it, like any Sims that were made before the patch on the 18th would be fine. They just go back to normal. My Sims look fine, but I was still kind of worried, like, okay, but I mean, like, I'm assuming that if a child aged up, it'll go back to the way they should have looked when they aged up if they didn't have the glitch, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's what I was looking for, but we got a couple days for that. And everyone's just going through the motions. I was also complaining greatly because my frame rates kept tanking. Yeah, okay, of course there's Mercury being, you know, peeing on things because, keep his werewolf temperament down and whatnot. I'm gonna try my best to figure out what the hell's going on because everything's going super fast because I don't want to be here for like 4 hours after I just spent 4.5 hours like fighting with my game for in the morning and then recording stuff to then go to process my videos in the evening and realize the sound is just completely janky. We were looking at the death things over here because Pluto really needs to get on board with killing more people. But I realized that I've been saying that, like, oh my God, we got to get him, he's got to get more people here. And I'm like, we've got plenty of time. Like, unless we decide, everyone's off to work now, obviously. Unless we decide that, like, when we're getting too many Sims in the house and we just, like, however I figure out how I'm going to decide who gets kicked out of the house, i.e., murdered. Um, unless it's Pluto, he's got plenty of time. So yeah, I was looking at that like we got time. He's got to kill those three other people. It'll be like whatever. And I was trying. This is where I was trying to fix my thing. And in about a hot second, we are going to. There's going to be like um a little transit. Okay, never mind. I was going to say a little transition because I was trying to get my frame rates to get fixed, but like, okay, here you go. I was trying to put the transition as I saw it come up, and then like Premiere popped up with like a thing, like, and I'm like, wait, what? Am I still recording? Like my voice, like whatever. Um, yeah, so because I couldn't get it to work, my frame rates kept tanking and like whatnot. So we end up figuring it out, but you'll notice there's going to be a couple transitions in here as we go where I like stopped recording. Um, but yeah, so of course Pluto is the only one left at home with the kids and is like, but he doesn't even like kids. So like, I don't know what's going on with all this stuff. It's really hard overdubbing because like when you're playing, you're just like doing stuff, you're chatting, and when you're overdubbing, you're like, okay, there's just things going on. And I realized at this point, I'm like, the curtains like fucking move a lot in this game. Like, that's fucking weird. But anyway, one of the things that I thought was funny in the very beginning, I was explaining like all of our audio issues, but like just the amount of drinks on that, like on the bar. And I'm like, I know that like we've noticed this before. Oh, this is Servobot calling, and it's like, oh, nice dead Servobot. Also started the game being like, who died? And I'm like, oh right, Servobot died right at the end of the last one. But the amount of drinks that freaking Archimedes makes is ridiculous. Like, but I guess he's setting Wilder and Crowley up for, the fact that they're gonna be throwing parties and drinking a lot. Yeah, and I was actually at this point trying to have Mercury come in and take care of Wilder, but then like Pluto's doing it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, would you stop? Like, you know, I've been debating like, should I just make him hate kids? But like, he's the only one home with them. And I figure, like, yeah, okay, he's making sure they don't die, but if they're stanky or their diapers are gross, I'm like, of course he's not going to be the one to do that. Oh, and that was Astrum just decided he has a, what was that, self-assured personality trait. He discovered that about himself, and I was like, all right, sure, we'll let you do that. That'll be okay. I'm gonna add another default transition in here, so there we go, because we gotta do that after. Yeah, and I was okay. Mercury is about to go. I'm gonna have him finish writing. I'm like, I realized we haven't. He hasn't even finished writing his first trashy romance novel, and like, but I'm like, I just don't have time. There's so many Sims going on, and there's so much shit happening, and I think it might be a little bit easier later on. Um, so like I worry about these things, like me, like, oh my god, we don't do any of the things like with the challenge and the bits and pieces that we have to do, but like with Pluto, we've got plenty of time to do shit with him because he's like a vampire. He's gonna live forever unless we decide we like take him out. Okay, Victor is potty training right now, and I was like mad because Mercury, I told you to like take care of yourself before you went to write, and you didn't bother to take a shower. So like whatever. I might have cheated up it at this point. I don't know, because like sometimes I'm just like screw it, and I just get frustrated and I cheat all their needs and whatnot. There's me again trying to. Every time we go to the menu and we pause forever, it's me trying to figure out the stuff. Oh, and Mercury got a little pop up if he wanted to switch his personality, not add a new one, switch it from clumsy to being a perfectionist. And I sat for a minute. I'm like, I like the fact that he's clumsy, but like maybe he's bettering himself and being a perfectionist, especially since he's got to be like the workaholic and always, going into work, never miss a day and everything. I'm like, maybe a perfectionist. Sure. Um it does kind of suck that it got rid of his clumsy one, but like it's one of those things that pops up and you're like, I don't know what to do. I was trying here. I could probably just cut this part out, but whatever, we're here. I was trying to go to manage worlds and get my frame rates back and everything. And like, I guess it's kind of good that we had to delete the audio because when I'm playing the game, I'm like, I am just like, because I had to reboot the game twice in the middle of this, I was like, I can't. I'm so freaking like depressed. I don't even want to play today. And like, considering how everything went today and how the audio went, maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. But anyway, and then when I reloaded in after rebooting for the 37,000th time, Archimedes had the new personality trait, like, does he want to be cheerful? And I'm like, for a mad scientist vampire, and now he's cheerful, but like, I mean, it happens, I guess, in his older age, because he's technically a grandfather, so like, why not have him just be cheerful? You know, at some point, I know I've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before, or at least I've been thinking about it. We will have to age him up to at least an adult. You know what I mean? I don't know if we'll ever get to elder. Maybe. I would love to be able to just let myself redo my Sims like everybody else does. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you went from young adult to like adult. Now we'll change, give you a more adult look. But I don't. Like, I set my Sims as teens, and that's basically how they look for the rest of their lives. And like, so like, it's just, I feel like I should adjust them, but like, I don't want to. I get attached. I realize that my Sims are like, I mean, they are cartoon. They're game characters, but they're like my cartoon characters where like it doesn't matter. Like freaking Scooby Doo. Like Shaggy was wearing that same outfit from the 1960s to modern day, still wearing the same damn outfit basically. Um here we were going, I had Pluto do a random blind date on the Simda dating app. Uh Cuz I was like, "All right, let's go in, let's find someone to date, maybe, cuz we need a new lover, we need a new blood bank type of a thing." Um so I did that. I'm like, let's do a random blind date. So we got this Daichi guy. I think his name's Daichi. I think that's what it was. I can't see, my video is very small. Like, it's too small for me to read what the hell's happening. So I just have to remember the best I can. I was having Pluto like do some spells on him, and then I'm like, all right, the alluring visage or whatever. I'm like, why don't we put that on? Because he wasn't flirting with us until he starts. Now he's getting a little like loopy, and I'm like, now we'll be able to woohoo, hell yeah. But like then the game decided to be janky and like not work, so they get in the hot tub to woo, and then like Daichi shoos us away, and like nothing happens, and then like you could just see it's just a fucking mess. Um, I try to have him like talk to him and like whatever, and like it still isn't working. Like I'm trying to do all these options, and then I was like, all right, why don't you just feed off of him, and then like you can just see that like Daichi goes off. And I'm sitting here and I'm waiting and he never comes back to Pluto, and then I eventually was just like, fuck it, we'll just end the date. Like, who cares? Um, like it doesn't like, see, I'm just sitting here like waiting and waiting and waiting for nothing. And so I was like, fuck it. Let's just go home. Cause like who cares? It was just like to have some fun, and like it didn't work out, but I'm like, whatever, we're gonna invite, you'll see when we get back home. And soon we'll invite Daichi over and just trap him in the basement, and then all sorts of shenanigans ensue. But anyway, so back to like changing the Sims. Like I want to do that cuz like I am like really happy that the teens share the same wardrobe as young adults, for the fact that like I hated that in earlier Sims, whereas like the teens had different outfits, and it was kind of like, oh, if you're a teen you can wear a mini skirt, but once you hit young adult you have to wear like knee length skirts. And as much as I am a knee length pencil skirt fan, and I don't wear mini skirts because my ass is huge, and a mini skirt on me would basically be my ass half out, cuz too much ass for a mini skirt to handle. You know, I mean, I still, maybe my Sims want to wear mini skirts. Like they had the weirdest things of like, no, when you're a young adult, you cannot dress this way, and it's like you can't tell me how I can dress. When I'm 80, I'm still going to be wearing high heels and dressing like a crazy person. You know what I mean? So I like that they didn't have that differentiation. Like this outfit, you can only wear this if you're a teen, and it's like, but young adults and maybe some adults and maybe my grandma Sim wants to wear fishnets and a mini skirt. Like let her be herself. So I liked that the wardrobe was open, but there was a part of me that's like, because of that, once I set my Sim, and because in the game like teens, young adults, adults are basically the same, that once my Sim hits a teen, it's like they're basically a young adult. So like that's just them forever. They're my little cartoon characters that I never change. So like whatever. I mean, I know that that's like me. I have to get around that, but like not going to happen. Um but I keep thinking that in this it would be interesting. I mean, because they're vampires, so like, no, Archimedes isn't gonna like change drastically. But I do want to age him up at least to an adult, because at some point, sure, in vampire lore, I guess it depends on the vampire lore. I don't know all vampire lore, but like, oh, once you turned into a vampire, that's the age you stay forever. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with like making him at least an adult. And maybe eventually when we get toward the end, maybe if he's still around, like then I don't know if I'd make him an elder, but he'd definitely be at least an adult, and maybe we'll change his look. I don't know. We'll see how I feel about it. Do I want to give him like I get stuck and attached to my Sims like the way they are. Like this is you, and like we can add outfits and maybe but like I don't know about a whole new persona, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, so we've just been trying to take care of the toddlers. I've been trying. Oh, and this is where I invited Daichi over. You can see he's here. And I keep at him like, you're in the goddamn group. Why will you not? See, this would have blown your eardrums out, because I was like, why will you not go downstairs? God damn it. Like, see, when I get to like this level of like loud, the thing will minimize, but it was like, and it was just making these high pitched scratching noise because I was so loud, and then like because the mic was too high. So like, oh my god, it was painful. It was god awful, and Nobody wants to sit through that. But anyway, I was like, of course, yelling and screaming at them here because like I couldn't get them to stay in the goddamn room. And then I'm like, all right, pause the game, stupid. Just pause it and then lock it. And then now Daichi's stuck down here. So, he was going to be our new blood bank. So, because I was going to try when we were out at the date at the pool, which we didn't check out the lot too much because I was like, we're on a date, so I wasn't paying attention. And I just realized now I'm like, oh, I didn't check out the lot while we were there, but whatever. Because we've never gone to that one. But I was trying to get him to deep drink because I'm like, that has a chance to kill them, right? Um, but it didn't work. So that's why I brought him here. So we just had a deep drink, but he's not dead. He's fine. Um, but yeah, so I'm just trying to get the toddlers wrangled and take care of them because these little bastards. And then I was also at some point trying to make Astrum cook pancakes so I could just put them upstairs so the toddlers don't have to take 6 goddamn days to walk downstairs and get food. And it's like, especially this little bastard because he's like picky, so he eats like 2 bites of food and then he's hungry 5 seconds later and it's like, "Oh my god. You're just going to have to deal with pancakes, kiddo." Anyway, um but yeah, so we were just doing that, taking care of some shit. You know, because like look at Crowley's needs. They're like trash, but whatever. And hopefully. No, next week will be better because I opened my recording software. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, why is it? It was like at 197%. I'm like, how? I have it set to 100. How the frick did it get up so high? Like, oh my god, it must have like if I was like moving something around, it must have like registered that I like clicked and drag or like something. I don't know. And I'm just like so fucking mad because whatever. Oh, and then this was fun because I decided to have Arkham come down here. I was like, "Oh, you're hungry? Why don't you come down here, say hey to Daichi? Like, hey Daichi, what's up?" And feed on him, right? And I was like, "But we'll just compel him for like a small drink because I don't want to kill him, right? That's Pluto's job." So I was like, let's just compel him for a small drink because I know the deep drink with the vampires can kill mod kills them, right? And then all of a sudden I get this sound. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, oh, fuck, did I just kill Daichi? Yeah, okay, so Arkham just killed Daichi by accident. Because I didn't realize, and I looked at my notepad paper and I was like, oh, compel for a small drink won't kill them unless they've been drank from recently, which he obviously was because Pluto drank from him. So I was like, that's me not reading. Whoops. So yeah, Daichi's dead. We just leave him in the corner there, whatever. And then I'm just gonna have Arkham chat, a little flirty chat with the Grim Reaper, and we're basically gonna end it here. So anyway, I'm really sorry about the audio issues and overdubbing and this being garbage, but whatnot. Hopefully, it'll be fine next week. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more better ones next time.